like to call to order the January 28th, 2025 meeting of the Code Enforcement and Nuisance Board. I believe the first thing on the agenda is to swear in our alternate for the Code Enforcement Board. So I'll hand that over to our mayor, Mayor Todd Alcott.
Thank you very much. Just want to say, when I have the opportunity, I want to thank, first of all, our code enforcement officers, Brad Skowski, you and your team. People underestimate what this job means to the community. We have 42 square miles of code enforcement territory, and everyone expects that things are happening in their community, and they are. And this is the transparency that proves that, shows that we have an actual method and we actually have citizens. So again, I want to thank our board members for your service, because it goes underappreciated. Everyone points fingers of what they want on the property next door to them, but no one wants to be told what's happening on their property. But we actually have ordinances, we have laws, we abide, and I want to thank this entirety of your team, the work that happens both for code enforcement, for animals, for protection, for our facilities, our streets. All that is, a part of our government, and we're lucky that we have a transparent government and we have citizen leaders that are willing to lead. And today I get to introduce a new member to this team. He's going to be in alternate status. He might be on deck tonight, but that is Ben Bruni. So Ben, come on up here. Ben Bruni is a assistant principal at Bowling Green High School, and you actually have a guest with you tonight too. Who do you have?
I do. This is Miss Heather Rickman, my girlfriend.
All right. Well, Ben, what we're going to do is the Kentucky Constitution. It goes back, and it's. I hope you have not been in any duels. I know you've been.
Not.
Carry a big stick, but you're going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
State your name.
Ben Bruni.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
And the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
And be faithful and true.
And be faithful and true.
To the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
To the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
So as long as I continue.
So as long as I continue.
A citizen thereof.
A citizen thereof.
And that I will faithfully execute.
And that I will faithfully execute.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
The office of.
The office of.
Code Enforcement.
Code Enforcement.
And Nuisance Board Member.
And Nuisance Board Member.
According to the law.
According to the law.
And I do further solemnly swear.
And I do so further solemnly swear.
That since the adoption of this present Constitution.
That since the adoption of this present Constitution.
I, being a citizen of this state.
I, being a citizen of this state.
Here it comes. Have not fought a duel with deadly weapons.
Have not fought a duel with a deadly weapon.
Within this state nor out of it.
Within this state nor out of it.
Nor have I sent or accepted a challenge.
Nor have I sent or accepted a challenge.
To fight a duel with deadly weapons.
To fight a duel with a deadly weapon.
Nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge.
Nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge.
Nor aided or assisted any person.
Nor aided or assisted any person.
Thus offending.
Thus offending.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You're on the board. Thank you for your service, Ben.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman, does he get to sit on the big council tonight?
There's no point in letting you wait. You might as well just come on up here now.
All right.
We'll put you right to work. So come on up here.
He told me he memorized the entire chapter, the whole 4-inch binder.
He's read the whole binder?
He's ready to go.
Well, then he is good to go. Then I'll let him take the big seat.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dearborn.
Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, pleasure. Welcome, sir. Glad to join y'all.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well.
Good to see you.
Look forward to following your lead.
All right. We will now have our roll call.
Dearbone.
Here.
Holman.
Here.
Bruni.
Here.
Harmon.
Here.
LaPointe.
Here. All right. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes for the November 18th, 2024 meeting. If so, I will entertain a motion for approval. If no
Motion to
changes.
approve.
Second. Which one got that? All right. Harmon and Holman, roll call.
Peterbone,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Gonzalez, sorry. Dearborn,
Yes.
sorry,
No, you're
Gonzalez,
good.
LaPointe,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
All right, if the staff will please stand up to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, thank you. All right, moving into our hearing agenda. Madam Clerk?
For old business, we have agenda item 2025-1 for Public Works. This is a appeal that was heard back in November and was tabled to the January hearing. So this is for case number 2024-8609, an appeal to citation number 2024-14741.4 with a citation fine in the amount of $2,000 for 474 Glen Lily Road. Owner is Red Diamond Properties. Respondent was Ty Nguyen, and the officer was Journey Nixon.
Mr. Chairman, if I may speak on Officer Nixon's behalf, this case we are requesting be tabled by the board to the hearing in February. The appellee has requested all of their documents be processed in Vietnamese, so the city has contracted with a translator to translate all of the documents, finding of fact, and future notices of hearing to Vietnamese. We've also contracted with an interpreter. However, the Vietnamese interpreter that we found was not able to be present until February. So we sent notice to both the property owner and Officer Nixon, letting them know that they did not need to be present tonight, as we were requesting it to be tabled to the February hearing.
All right.
I'll make a motion to table this till February.
I'll second.
Harmon, roll call.
Dearborn, Holman,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
All right, Madam Clerk?
Moving on to new business, we have agenda item 2025-2 for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-0565 for the property located at 1125 Wilson Street. The property owner is Aceland Holdings, LLC, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was a result of a proactive inspection that was conducted on January 30th of 2024. During that inspection, the following violations were observed for broken, boarded, and missing windows, and an accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris on the premises. A notice of violation was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date, with the compliance inspection date listed at February 14th, 2024. At the June code enforcement, citations were issued on March 27th, April 9th, and April 22nd of 2024. And this case was actually presented to the board at the June hearing, and a request was approved for per-day fines for this property. On July 10th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A per-day fine citation was issued and posted on the property and sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. Violations listed on the citation were for glazing for the broken, boarded, and missing windows, protective treatment for the damaged and missing siding, and accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris, as well as scattered garbage on the property. And there's that citation that was posted that day. And that was the shape of the property back in July. You can see the siding's falling off, the paint's chipping. It's kind of hard to see in that other picture, but the windows and doors were boarded up, and the back and sides are also boarded. On January 8th of this year, Russell Hankins, the property owner, contacted staff and asked what needed to be done to bring the property into compliance. The violations and Mr. Hankins' intent to remedy those were discussed, and he was advised that the property was now subject to second per-day fines. The 60-day period has elapsed and the property remains in violation. It still has the broken windows, the damaged, missing siding, the debris on the property, and scattered garbage. It's been open for 363 days. And that's what it looked like today, still just the siding's falling off, the paint's chipping, still boarded up. There's some debris still scattered in the yard.
By the board? If not, I'll make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until in compliance.
Second?
Dearbone, Lapointe. Roll call?
Dearbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2025-3 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-0312. The property is located at 1129 Wilson. Owner is Aislinn Holdings LLC, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
We're just gonna hop next door to 1129. This case was a result of another proactive inspection that was conducted on January 22nd of 2024. During that inspection, the following violations were observed: for an unsecured accessory structure, boarded missing exterior doors on the residence, roof, gutters, and downspouts in disrepair, and an accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris for some scrap wood pallets and furniture that was located outside on the property that day. A notice of violation was sent to the PVA listed owner and address with the compliance inspection date of February 1st, 2024. Citations were issued on March 27th, April 9th, and April 22nd, 2024. This case was presented to the board to request authorization to issue a per-day fine citation at the June hearing as well. And then there's that first per-day fine citation. On July 10th, the property was inspected and remained in violation, and that per-day fine citation was posted on the property and sent by first-class mail to the PVA listed owner and address. And on that date, the violations were for a dangerous structure and premises as the residence is vacant, abandoned, and has not had utilities since August of 2023, as well as that accessory structure is still being unsecured and damaged, dilapidated fencing, exterior doors that are boarded and missing, protective treatment for damaged, missing siding on the accessory structure, damaged roof and drainage on that structure, accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris, and an exterior use or storage of indoor furniture outside. And there's that citation posted by the front door. It's boarded up. That's all behind that shed. That shed's been open and closed a few times when I've driven through there. There's been people in and out of there. And that back of the property is boarded up and overgrown. And then you can see, it's kind of hard to see because of the tree, but that fencing has fallen down as well as a gutter off the side of the house. As of today, the property remains in violation. On January 8th, Russell Hankins, the property owner, contacted and asked what he needed to do to bring the property into compliance. The violation and his intent to remedy those were discussed that day, and he was advised that the property was subject to second per-day fine citation. The 60-day period has elapsed and the property remains in violation. And the case has been open for 373 days as of today, so it's still boarded up. And that shed, they have secured it a little better. And that's the shed, the siding's fallen off of it. It's kind of hard to get a good picture of it, but the siding's fallen off, the soffit and fascia's fallen off of it. They still have all the furniture and garbage and wood back behind it. The fence is still falling in, just not a lot of change to it.
I'll make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliant.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Dearbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2025-4 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-0391. The property located is at 1556 College View Drive. The property owner is Aislinn Holdings LLC, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was the result of a proactive inspection that was conducted on January 24th of 2024. During the inspection, the following violations were observed for another accessory structure that was found to be maintained in poor condition and an improperly parked vehicle. A notice of violation was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance inspection date of February 8th, 2024. Citations were issued on March 27th, April 9th, and April 22nd, 2024. At the August Code Enforcement and Nuisance Board hearing, a request was approved for per-day fines for this property. On September 9th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A per-day fine citation was issued and posted on the property and sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. And the following violations were listed on that citation for an accessory structure that's maintained in poor condition, doors on an accessory structure that are missing and damaged, protective treatment for damage, missing siding on the accessory structure, roof and drainage due to the damaged and missing areas of roofing on the accessory structure. And as you can see, it started off as a whole structure, and then as times went on, there has been less and less of it. This is kind of what it looks like now. Still in the same shape as it has, if not, there's less siding on it. So on January 8th, Russell Hankins, the property owner, contacted staff and asked what he needed to do to bring the property into compliance. The violations and his intent to remedy those were discussed, and he was advised that the property was subject to second per-day fine citation. The 60-day period has elapsed, and the property remains in violation. This case has been open 371 days. And just looking at it today, it's still just a shell of a structure left now.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, the staff request that's on the packet is to request a second per-day fine citation. Unless Mr. Broderick is not in agreement with this, I suppose the board could make that motion and also request that staff move forward with demolition of this structure. We would then still go through the whole lengthy process of notifying all of the interested parties that own or have any financial interest in the property, give them 30 days time, go through all the regular process for demolition that we have for other structures we've brought before the board. The only reason I'm bringing that up, and it was not in the packet, is I did not realize the extent to which this structure is unsafe and dangerous. And so I just want to present that option to the board, and it certainly would be your option if you choose to.
Good motion, and it does expedite things, which needs to be done.
Okay, I'll make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until in compliance. In addition to that, a order directing the code enforcement staff to initiate the condemnation and demolition of this building.
Second. Harmon, Holman. Roll call.
Beerbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2025-5 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-0316 for the property located at 122 13th Avenue West. The property owner is Aislinn Holdings LLC, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was the result of a proactive inspection conducted on January 22nd, 2024. During the inspection, the following violations were observed for glazing due to broken, boarded, and missing windows, protective treatment for damaged and missing siding, and a fallen tree. A notice of violation was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with a compliance inspection date of February 21st, 2024. Citations were issued on April 4th, April 17th, and May 15th. At the August Code Enforcement and Nuisance Board hearing, a request was approved for per-day fines for this property. On September 10th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A per-day fine citation was issued and posted on the property and sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The following violations were listed on the citation for glazing due to broken, boarded, and missing windows, doors due to broken, boarded, missing exterior doors, protective treatment due to damaged and missing siding, roof and drainage due to the damaged roof, improper installation of electrical equipment, accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris, as well as scattered garbage. And you can see on the pictures from the day that per day fine citation was posted, there's still garbage. And it's hard to see in that picture, but there's a bunch of wires hanging out of I think it used to be a light fixture by that back door, as well as the siding that's damaged and fallen off. I have better pictures of it for today, but on January 8th, Russell Hankins, the property owner, contacted staff and asked what needed to be done to bring this property into compliance, and the violations and his intent to remedy those were discussed. And he was advised that this property was also subject to second per day fine citation. The 60-day period has elapsed and the property remains in violation, and this case has been open for 373 days. And as of today, the per day fine citation was still on the front door, so nobody's been by to look at it or take it off. Still has the damaged siding on the front. There's that citation. And then the back, still boarded up. You can see those wires a little bit better in that picture. And then just scattered garbage everywhere. And then that window, it's kind of hard to see in that picture, but that window, it's got several holes in it and it's broken.
I make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run a period of 60 days or until in compliance.
Rooney, Lapointe. Roll call.
Dearborn.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Bruni.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2025-6 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-8067 for the property located at 416 6th Avenue East for the estate of George E. and Emma A. Whitney, and Officer Sonia Duderick will present the case.
This case was a result of citizens' complaint on 9/13/2024. While I was doing other inspections in the area, I was approached for this house. During the initial inspection, the following violations were observed: exterior use or storage of indoor furniture, unlicensed, inoperable motor vehicle, duty of maintenance of street sidewalks and public ways, a structure unfit for human occupancy due to no utilities, and unsafe structure. Send a notice of violation on 9/23/2024 to the listed property owner. On 9/24, I inspected it. There's that vehicle that has expired tags. It's inoperable. There's also a trailer there. There was, if you go back, the cushions. Originally, I did not know, but down the road, I'll explain about these cushions here. With no contact from them, I inspected and left a door tag on 10/3/2024. Property remained in violation. On 10/10, inspected, and I located someone. Our office located someone named Vicki Taylor as possible prior contact for this location. I contacted her. She advised that she knows of a person that had been living there in the past, and will try to make a contact and call me back. On 10/17/2024, I inspected the property. It remained in violation with no contact from Ms. Taylor. A citation was issued and posted on a property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was 10/28/2024. The following violations were duty of maintenance of private property, abandoned property, unlicensed inoperable motor vehicle, exterior use or storage of indoor furniture, and vacant structure and land. There's the electric meter that's missing, the citation that was posted there, the trailer and the vehicle that's been on that property for some time, the cushions by the back door. On 12/6, on 10/29, I inspected the property and remained in violation. Another citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class certified mail with a compliance inspection date listed as 11/8/24. On 11/11, inspected the property. The vehicle, trailer, and the cushions by the side door were all gone. After this is the second citation. Everything's still the same. So I gave them some more time. On 11/26/24, inspected and property remained in violation. A third citation was issued with a inspection compliance date of 12/6/24. During the third citation, for some reason, someone keeps taking these citations off every day after work when I drive through there. The same day citations were gone. But the vehicle in the back and the trailer were gone. At one point, the cushions were gone, but they came back. And I learned that the cushions are for the cat by the back door that someone is feeding. And every day I go by, the cat's been fed and it's hanging around there. On 12/6, the property was inspected. It remained in violation. An individual who said his name was Greg was observed walking around the property, so I stopped and talked to him. He asked him if he was staying there, and he clarified that he is homeless but does not stay there. He's the one that's taking care of the cat that's on the side porch. The property was found to have unsecured window, and a possible property owner's relative, Odell Wilson, was contacted. He lives out of town, and he stated he would have someone come and secure the window. He also mentions plan to sell the property in about 6 months. He was advised that property needed to be properly secured and maintained until any changes of ownership. On 12/9, Patrick has called me, who we believe it's his nephew of Odell Wilson, and he advised he was going to secure the window. On 12/10 and 12/31, the property was inspected and remained in violation. The window was secured both times. On 1/8 of this year, one of the officers contacted Patrick again to have him resecure the window, as homeless person was observed lifting the board and going inside the house. On January 9th, I inspected the property and remained in violation, but it was secured. The window was secured. As of today, the case has been open for 137 days, and it remains in violation. I did try to contact Odell today, as I have in the past. I can't even leave a voicemail. It rings and nothing.
So for clarification, with it being an estate, would Odell be the one who would be responsible for I guess, the fines or any of that? Who would be the person who would be in charge of that?
Personal representative, secretary or administrator or administratrix would be responsible.
And the problem is, we don't know if that's what Odell is. We don't even know his true relation to the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, we have some reason to assume that he is related, but that's why he's kind of been in and out of the picture. There have been 2 or 3 other people kind of in and out. Really, no one is claiming any.
You might do with
Okay, we can ask the law department to do that.
So by doing this, it would be more procedural than anything, since we're waiting on. Okay, just want to make sure for clarification's sake.
And at the same time, as a reminder, and to Mr. Bruni as well, the authorization to issue the per-day fine does not immediately start the per-day fine. So the board is simply giving us the okay that as we proceed, our next citation, instead of being a set amount, would then be $100 a day or whatever the board chooses for a period of time up to 60 days. If, however, in the next few days we work with the law department and we find out that there is an estate and we're able to get a hold of someone, or there's a foreclosure proceeding already, or whatever the case might be, we simply don't issue that citation. Or maybe we go through the motions for a few weeks and then we can issue it a month from now. But once the board authorizes that, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go out and do it immediately. It just gives us the ability to do that on our next citation.
I'll make a motion to implement per day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliant.
I'll second. Point Dearbone. Roll call?
Dearbone.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Bruni.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.
Okay, agenda item 2025-7 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-6502 for the property located at 123 15th Avenue West. The property owner is Darwin N. and Sylvia L. Murray, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was the result of a complaint-based inspection that was conducted on July 30th, 2024. During the initial inspection, the following violations were observed for an accumulation and outdoor storage of junk and scrap, exterior use, storage of indoor furniture, accumulated scattered garbage, and an accumulation of rubbish and garbage. An NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance inspection date of August 9th, 2024. On August 12th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. The inspection was limited due to violations only being visible from the alley behind the property, which was blocked by a vehicle that day. On August 14th, phone contact was made with the property owner, Ms. Murray, and it was explained to her that an NOV was sent for recurring violations on her property due to what appeared to be a large homeless population that are frequently gathered on the property. She was given suggestions on how to remedy the issues and was told there would be a follow-up at the property in a week. On August 21st, August 22nd, and August 30th, the property was inspected, but only partially from the alley due to a vehicle being parked in the alley, as well as a large accumulation of rubbish and garbage that was blocking the alley, so I couldn't drive all the way down it, and remained in violation. There was a large gathering of what appeared to be homeless subjects on the premises. This property generates ongoing complaints from the police department as well as surrounding neighbors. On August 30th, contact was attempted with Ms. Murray to discuss the condition of the property, but there was no answer. On September 4th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. On that day, face-to-face contact was made with Ms. Murray. Due to the large amount of what appeared to be homeless subjects, suspected illicit activities, and general condition of the property, an inspection was conducted with a standby from the Bowling Green Police Department. Ms. Murray was advised of the extensive code violations on her property, informed that ongoing criminal activity can be declared a nuisance, and told that her property was becoming a criminal nuisance. During the inspection, BGPD engaged in a foot pursuit and subsequent arrest of a subject. That date, Ms. Murray was provided resources and suggestions on how to bring the property into compliance, and she was encouraged to continue working with our office as well as with BGPD to achieve this. Due to the violations that were observed, a citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was September 16th, 2024, and the following violations were added to the citation for broken, boarded, and missing windows, duty of maintenance of private property due to the overall condition of the property, duty of maintenance of streets, sidewalks, drainage areas, and public way due to trash, rubbish, and junk that has accumulated in the public right-of-way, which we ended up having to have Public Works come and remove from the property that day. Noxious substances and odors due to trash, garbage, standing and stagnant water, attractive nuisance due to the accumulation of trash, garbage, criminal activity, and homeless encampment, hoarding of material such as garbage and junk, accumulation and outdoor storage of tires, sanitation due to homeless encampment, accumulation of garbage and trash, and improper disposal of garbage. And there's that citation that was posted on September 4th. And just the general state of the property that day. The windows are broken out, as well as all the garbage that's found back behind the property. On September 24th, the property was inspected with additional assistance from BGPD and remained in violation. And on September 25th, contact was made with Ms. Murray, and she was advised that due to the extensive violations and now the indication that someone was living in that accessory structure that you can see there. Living in it, the detached garage would be condemned as it was unfit for human habitation. Condemnation placards were posted on the door of that accessory structure / detached garage. The owner was advised that, and there's the photos from the police that day, they got in a foot pursuit with somebody that was in the front yard of the house. On the 25th, the condemnation placards were posted on the door of the detached garage, and the owner was advised that the structure was clear of all indications that anybody was living in there, so no more furniture, couches, beds, whatever in there. By the following date, on the 26th, it would not be boarded, chained, padlocked, secured. While on site, staff observed that there were multiple extension cords that were running from the residence to various places at the exterior of the property, and Ms. Murray was asked to unplug and cease using those extension cords, which she did while we were there. BGPD was also present for this inspection, and they banned multiple subjects and made at least one arrest that day. And then that's from the 24th. There's a subject that was passed out on the back porch or sleeping on the back porch. I'm not sure what they were doing that day, but that was all in the rear of the property. There's been complaints from the fire department of them burning stuff back there. That's what that is. It's a burn pile of just whatever it is they find to burn. And this was after we already had Public Works clean up everything out of the alley once. That's still back on their property now, so it's not in the city right away anymore. But this is after it's already been cleaned up once. And that was that second citation that was posted of the day that we posted the condemnation placard on that garage in the back of the property. And still the property had the broken windows, the garbage. There was a lot of rotting meat and old food around. That's where that was in that picture. Just a lot of flies, just a lot of garbage, a lot of bicycles. And the burn pile that continues to grow. That was the day that we went and were able to see the inside of that garage and made the determination that people were living in there due to the furniture and the tents and the fans, everything they had in there. And that's photos of the inside of it. On September 26th, code staff purchased caulk and a large piece of plexiglass and spent the afternoon installing the plexiglass outside of a front bedroom window where the existing window was broken. This window being broken left the house open to entry in the elements, including a tropical storm that was happening at the time. Ms. Murray explained that she was not financially able to purchase anything to close off the broken window, and she was appreciative of the assistance from staff to help keep her dry. And there's pictures of the day that staff was over installing the windows or the plexiglass to keep it from being open. On September 30th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. However, all belongings and indication of habitation had been removed from the detached garage building. The property owner was reminded that nobody could live in this building and that all use of the extension cords in this manner were prohibited. On October 8th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. It was determined that people were again living in the accessory structure detached garage and that there were extension cords running from the house to the garage. The decision was made to again condemn this building and immediately secure it to prevent access. The occupants were given an hour to retrieve their belongings from the building. The property in its entirety was found to be out of compliance. Multiple people were arrested during this inspection. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address, and the compliance inspection date listed on the citation was 10/18/2024. Condemnation placards were posted on the accessory structure detached garage, and staff changed the door shut and applied a padlock to it to prevent access, and the following violations were added to the citation for the structure that was unfit for human occupancy, as the shed garage was only used for storage purposes, not to live in, as well as unfit for human habitation, as the structure that was condemned as a garage that was not equipped for human habitation, as it has no bathroom, cooking, living areas. And that's photos from that day on October 8th. And that's the inside of that garage again, just beds and food and everything else that indicates there are people that are still living in there. Additional inspections were conducted on 10/21, 11/8, 12/2, 12/27, 12/30, January 19th, and January 16th. On October 21st, the property was inspected. Let me back up. On October 11th, the call was received from a BGPD officer advising they had banned multiple subjects from the property that day, and that the property was still in unacceptable condition, but he did call to advise and tell us that the detached garage was still secured that day. On the 21st of October, the property was inspected and remained in violation. Staff was able to have face-to-face contact with Ms. Murray, and she advised that she had sold the house and she had furnished copies of a contract and a postcard from the realtor company that was planning on purchasing the property. And that was photos from the day, from the 21st. So it had been cleaned up a little bit in front of this garage, but overall there's still all the accumulation of the garbage outside. On October 28th, staff with the city's law department advised that they were drafting liens for the property due to the potential pending sale. As such, it was decided not to pursue a per-day fine citation at that time, but staff continued to monitor the property due to ongoing and significant code violations. On November 8th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. I didn't go all the way on the property that date, but it was viewed from the alley, and you can still see that it was still in violation just from what I could see that day. November 11th, contact was made with Mr. Quentin Cook, the realtor who advised that he was purchasing the property. Mr. Cook said that he had been contacted by Ms. Murray, who stated that she was in over her head and that she had been renting the shed out and allowing people to stay on the property, and that the city continued to cite her. Mr. Cook was given the background of the property and the steps taken to try to assist the owner to bring the property into compliance. At that time, Mr. Cook said that he was working on a title and a payoff, and he would be ready to close on the property and move forward with vacating the property and bringing it into compliance. Ms. Murray was also contacted on this day regarding the pending sale, but she was not willing to communicate with staff. On November 20th, Mr. Cook stated that the payoff would take place by Friday, November 22nd. Mr. Cook said that Ms. Murray had voiced understanding that she and all other occupants would have to vacate the property once the sale was final. Ms. Murray reportedly told Mr. Cook that she had a place to go once the sale was finalized. On December 2nd, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A significant amount of trash was observed at the front and rear of the property. Mr. Cook was again contacted, and he said that the title was clear and they were ready to close. Once Ms. Murray vacated the property on that date, staff also attempted to contact Ms. Murray, but were unable to do so. On December 11th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. Mr. Cook said Ms. Murray was now refusing to cooperate with sale of the property. On December 27th, BGPD contacted our office and requested assistance at this location. The property was inspected and remained in violation. There were makeshift walls using tarps and plywood that were found in another detached garage, the one that's directly adjacent to the property, the residence. Furniture was present, and it was determined that day that multiple people had been living in the garage. Some of the individuals that were present in the garage were willing to help clean it up and take down the plywood and tarps that day, while staff and police were present. Face-to-face contact was attempted with Ms. Murray that day, but she was refusing to come speak with staff. Police made at least one arrest during this inspection. Mr. Cook later called and said that Ms. Murray had called his office, indicating that she was ready to move forward with the sale of the property. And that's just still the outside of it from the 27th. The broken windows on the side, the furniture just the trash everywhere over on the side. And it's piled back up in front of that garage that's condemned. And then that's the back of the property. It's been cleaned up a little bit, but it's still moved over to the side, so it's not as much in the alley. On December 30th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. BGPD was present to stand by while all accessory structures were inspected for habitation and all were clear or secure. Mr. Cook contacted staff and advised he had been attempting further contact with Ms. Murray, and she had been refusing to communicate with his office since their last discussion where she indicated she was ready to move forward with the sale. So that was on the December 30th inspection. And you could see officers making sure that the property in the back was still clear. The chain had been broken on the door, but there wasn't anybody in there at the time, so we were able to resecure it to try to prevent any future access to it. But the placards are still posted back there. On January 9th, the property was inspected and remained in violation, and contact was made with Mr. Cook, and he advised that he had continued his attempts at contact with Ms. Murray and stated he gave concerns of criminal activity that was continuing to take place at this property. And that was just photos taken from the 9th. They've moved out everything out of that garage the best they can. There's still stuff in there, but I don't think anybody was staying in there at the time. On January 16th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. You can still see all the trash from the road. And on January 23rd, Mr. Cook contacted staff to say that his office had decided to back out of purchasing the property due to lack of cooperation and communication from Ms. Murray. These are the photos from today, and the property still remains in violation for the broken, missing windows, duty of maintenance of private property, just the nauseous odors from all the trash, as well as the attractive nuisance, garbage, junk. And still the structure's unfit for human occupancy for the garages and sheds that are on the property. That front window is still broken, but that one still has that plexiglass that staff installed that day. So that one, the front glass is broken, but it's got that plexiglass back behind it, so she's sheltered from the elements. And there's still garbage out to the side of it, shopping carts. Those windows are either broken or cracked. And then that's the garage that's directly next to the house. So nobody was out there at the time this morning when I was there. But still just overall disarray of the property and accumulation of garbage, and that building is still secure. They've actually put a new chain on it that was not our chain, so I'm not sure where that came from, but it's still secured. And the back alley does look a lot better. So thank you for sticking with me through this one. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I'll make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliant.
Second.
Holman? Roll call?
Beerbone.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Bruni.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Let's see. That looks like that's everything on our agenda. Oh, wait, we gotta do nominate the
Yes.
chair and chair. All right, so do I need to do that, or does that handle?
You can just open it up for nominations for chair first.
So, do we have any nominations for chair?
I assume there's no limitations on Ryan. Okay, then I'll nominate Ryan again to continue.
Second.
Oh. Roll call?
Beerbone.
Abstain?
Holman.
Yes.
Bruni.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
All right, now we will open up nominations for co-chair.
I'll make a motion for Jeff to be appointed.
Second?
I respectfully decline.
All right. Any more nominations? I nominate Anthony LaPointe.
Second?
All right, roll call.
Beerbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes?
Bruni,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Lapointe.
Stay.
Yeah, it's not so much fun when you got
Congratulations.
Thank you
I
all.
don't know if you guys want to do that.
And again, we want to welcome Ben. You got to jump right in on your very first meeting.
Ah, great job.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm honored to join.
Do we have anything else we need to cover, or are we good? All right, with that, I will entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Beerbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes?
Bruni,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.